morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Oh, yeah. Oh, please like and subscribe. Yeah. That good. Yeah. Ha.
All right, we are somewhere. We are somewhere in Washington. Highway 97. Southbound. I'm guessing we're like an hour away from Wenatchee. We're approaching Lake Chelan, which is actually off the road, but we're on the Columbia River. Just had lunch over here, so I guess it's not morning. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Bit of a late lunch. Like I said in yesterday's video, I stopped in Soyuz. I got a retorque on the steers. And I put in 140 liters of fuel while I was there. It's like, if we're making this detour anyway, let's top off on fuel as well. And the reason for the late lunch, I wanted my lunch to be near a rest area. Usually try to do that. It's like, this road is really bad for restroom accessibility, so gotta think ahead. Beautiful day. It was below zero first thing in the morning, but now it's up to 24 degrees Celsius. It's just gorgeous outside. Jess is out on the road right now too. She is headed to Greenwood. As I drove through there and saw how beautiful yellow everything was, I'm like, oh, she's gonna want to see that. Now that she's got her drivers, woohoo! She can go for a fall drive. So this is her first ever solo drive. A lot of you guys have given her congrats already 2 weeks ago on Bookface and yeah. Wells Dam. I'm pretty proud of her. Passed on her very first try. I knew she could. That's class 5s. She always just walked everywhere. She didn't need drivers. It's like, but you should get them so you have the freedom. So I convinced her, helped her learn how to drive, get comfortable with our pickup, and passed on her first try. I was quite happy. So feel free to give her a belated congrats. I'm sure she's reading these comments. Alright, so destination is Tacoma. Arrive in 4 hours 12 minutes. So that's about 6:20 or so, 6:20 p.m. I have 6.5 hours of drive time, so I got 2 hours to spare. I've used up all my off-duty time. I stopped at Cal Tire in the morning, which for you guys was yesterday. And that took them almost an hour to change tires, so I've used up almost all my off-duty time, but I have 2 hours to spare, so I can stop additional stops if I need to, or just want to. I didn't think of the fact I'll be driving into the sun for this video. Right. Huh. Just debating, do I shoot a little later? We'll be driving more and more west. We're going to be following the sun. Oh, goody. Okay. I don't think I can get around shooting into the sun. Yeah, I'm going to have to really think things through. Like you guys were saying on the previous videos where I was driven into the sun, the DJI Osmo does a really good job of diffusing the sunlight and doesn't make it unusable video. It does a really good job of driving into the sun and making it usable video. With the Sonys, this would be completely useless driving into the sun. So, quite impressed there. I have put the Osmo on a watch list on my couple of sites that you can track prices. It's like if it ever drops on sale, I'm buying another Osmo Action. Right price, I'll get a second one. Speaking of which, Microsoft Flight Simulator is 20% off. I may buy that game this weekend. Of course, it's beautiful driving into the sun too. You got some really cool looking silhouettes and really cool shadows in the mountains. You see the ridges more too, right? So there's advantages to driving into the sun. Coming up to Navy Bridge here soon too, I think. Always like that bridge. Yeah, so I went to the eye doctor yesterday and did a whole bunch of tests. At the end he just goes, okay, so can't find any kind of issues with your eyes, no diseases, anything like that. He goes, then you don't need glasses. He goes, usually I tell people at this eyesight that you're at, is like, if you're just driving a car, taxi or whatever, you probably don't need glasses, but if you're a truck driver or a pilot, you should consider getting glasses. I'm like, well, I'm a truck driver. He goes, you should consider getting glasses. He goes, you don't need them, but in low light, glasses would help you out a lot. Well, I think if it make me a safer driver in low light, I'm gonna have to start doing some Googling and see what kind of glasses I can get. It's a really low prescription. I think I'll make them safety glasses right away too. Oh, I'm like, why is the truck taking off on me? I don't have my engine brakes on. Let's turn those on. Oh, that's better. It's now slowing down. I'm like, I'm starting to speed. What's going on here? Why is the cruise control not doing its thing? Yeah, let's put the engine brakes on. That's better. We're back to the speed limit. On my Peterbilt, when you left engine brakes was an actual switch. On this truck, it's a button. So you have to turn it back on every single time you turn the engine off. Noticing that these steers are different. They react to the road differently. Glad I got them now before snow flies, because I would react slightly wrong. They're definitely different. I'm not sure how they're different, but I am misjudging what lane I want to be in repetitively. Am I putting in too much steer input or not enough? Almost like I'm putting in too much steer input. Overcorrecting. Which means that these tires would have more traction than the old ones. Which would make sense. The old ones are getting pretty darn bald. And they weren't bald yet. The left tire was at 5/32, and the right tire was, most of the tire was at 3/32, 4/32, but the shoulder of it was getting right down. Just the very edge of the shoulder was wearing right down to the casing. It's like, nope, we're getting really close to that casing. Let's not do that, especially going into winter. I would prefer not to be in the ditch this winter. We managed to get through last winter without being in the ditch. So that's a win. A winter without a ditch, big win. Here's BB Bridge. my fishing weights on the shoulder cam seem to be working really well, keeping the camera a lot more stable than without any weights on it, so that's a win. And Monday's video, yesterday's video you watched yesterday, I'm editing it right now. Or not editing it. I edited it over lunch, and it's rendering right now. It'll take about 4 hours to render, so it should be done rendering right about the time we get to our destination. I have decided to sleep in a bit of a sketchy part of town tonight. Our eyes open, ears open, pay attention to anything that gives us a reason to leave. It's been pretty peaceful there the last while, so it should be alright. No riots or gunshots in the last while, so if it was during the riots, I don't think I'd feel comfortable sleeping there, because it's blocks away from where the riots usually are. So the thing is, most of the riots aren't really riots. Most of them are just peaceful demonstrations that you don't really want to get caught in the middle of, because they could become riots. And what they're protesting, like, I'm all for it. That was a lot of the Black Lives Matter marches over there, and I'm like, I'm behind you there. I'm behind you. I agree with what you guys are marching for. But since I am white, it's probably not the best idea for me to go hang out in that area during those protests. I'm a huge fan of peaceful demonstrations, peaceful protests. Big fan of those. I'm not a fan of violence, but I understand violence. I understand why it's almost needed, because nobody's listening. It turns into violence because it's been ignored for so long, right? I understand why. If there was justice, it wouldn't come to the terms where violence is needed. So I don't support the violence, but I do understand why it happens. Can't really blame them for it. There's a boat out on the river. Supposed to be a lot of rain coming up. this end of this weekend and into the weekend. So we're going to enjoy the beautiful sunny weather while we can. We would have gone out and done stuff on this weekend, but we totally just focused on getting practice in for Jess so she was prepared for her driving test. I think it worked out. She aced the darn thing. This next weekend looks like will be an indoor weekend, which would be perfect if I bought Microsoft Flight Sim and spent the whole weekend gaming. If our budget allows it. I will do budget before I buy that game. Because, you know, fixing a cell phone screen kind of took a huge chunk out of our budget. I budget for emergency things like that, emergency non-essential stuff. We also budget in for gaming, budget in for all our essential bills. I usually do my full budget, look through every bill twice a month. Every other weekend is budget day. Go through everything. What have we spent? What bills are coming up, and are we in the red? And we will often not buy something today because, oh, if we buy this today, in 3 months from now, you see that there? The number would go red. Okay, we'll hold off. And that makes life pretty darn stress-free as far as money goes. All you do is punch in numbers, scroll down. Looks good. I don't see any red anywhere on the spreadsheet. Okay, let's go buy. Or very often we go, okay, we could go. Yep, we're in the black. Okay, we could go buy that thing. Or we could throw that into savings. No, I think it's worth throwing it into savings this time. And we have a rule. Once it gets thrown into savings, that money's gone. We never take money back out. Unless something would go really, really, really wrong. That money is in there, and that is in there for a reason. That is saving for a down payment for something we don't even know what it is yet. Is it going to be a house? Is it going to be an RV? It's saving up money until we have the money in there, and then we'll go. By that time, our ideas of what we want next have matured and kind of thought everything out that we can think of and can make a more intelligent decision. That's how we do it. I like it. It makes it stress-free. But to do that, to get to that point, it's actually quite a bit of work to figure out what your bills look like. How much money do you spend on food? How much money do you spend on fuel? How much money are you spending on your mortgage or your rent? How much money are you just spending doing fun stuff on the side? Restaurants and movies and stuff like that. That's all got to be budgeted in there. And then you go, how much is left over that I can throw into savings? Also, we don't think of money as money. We think of money as time. Buy a new camera. Okay, this is how many hours I would have to work to pay off that new camera. So even though I don't make tons of money, and only I have a job. Jess doesn't have a paying job. She does a lot of hobby stuff on the side that pays like a little bit, but not enough to support anything. But with a lower income, I would say I'm lower middle class. I can't afford a house yet. Still paying rent. I think if you can afford a house, you're middle class. So I'm close to middle class. The scenery is just so gorgeous today. I'm really enjoying this drive today. Look at that red tree. Wow. That is a red tree. Yeah, kind of need that space there. We'll slow down. Don't feel like making a SUV sandwich today. Pickup that's leading the line here is very inconsistent with their speed. Blind hill there, bud. Wow. Funny how this SUV thought it was okay to pass me, but it hasn't passed the RV or the pickup. yeah, basically we get to enjoy our last beautiful day of the year. Having said that, I'm a truck driver. I'll drive into parts of the country where it'll still be beautiful days of the year with no snow. But Canada, we're getting into winter. We're going to be getting a lot of rain now. It's cool. I like rain better than smoke, but of course rain down in the bottom of the valley means snow on the passes. Kind of funny how the road's kind of just slowly curving at the same rate as the sun's setting. Oh, I guess the sun's not setting yet, but it stays low in the sky like this. Oh. Overheating? There's a warning on the... Can't read what it is. Oh, there we go. It turned off. I think it's overheating. 4K in direct sunlight, it just gets too hot. We'll give it a few minutes and I'll try turning it back on. But for now we'll have to... These guys today, aggressive passing. For now we'll have to deal with the audio from my Sony cam. So we'll have the shoulder cam for a while anyway. I left it lots of time to cool off this time between the shots, so at 1080p and at 2.7K it wasn't really overheating, but at 4K it's just getting too hot in the sunshine. And we are stopped. All that aggressive passing, what did that help you guys? What do you think you're doing? Okay. Stop for 13 minutes. Pickup, really? Why do you keep pulling onto the shoulder, you impatient imbecile? The whole time, the whole 12 minutes we were parked there. Every couple of minutes he would move and look and back up and look on this side and then back up. It's like, come on man, relax. Yes, it was over 13 minutes of waiting, but still. Okay, so I changed a couple things on the Osmo while we're sitting there. First thing is I pulled the battery out, so we're running on plugged in power only. The other thing I did was set it so my screen on the Osmo actually turns off. So that the screen is not on while we're recording. It stays on for 1 minute and then shuts off. I think I'll try recording during a hot day like this and see if the battery's not in there, it gives more space to let air cool off. It's not running off the battery, because batteries give off a lot of heat. See if that makes a difference. Action cameras are designed to be out in the open air and moving quick, right? So on the dashboard they're going to overheat quicker. So we'll see. We will see. Of course, with the screen turning off, I don't know if the microphone's working. I think every now and then I should just give the screen a tap and see if the microphone's still working. I guess maybe at the beginning of recording, just make sure the microphone's working. If I don't touch anything, it should keep working, right? In theory. Hoping we make it through whatever the delay is. And aren't stuck in it a second time. Oh, it's automated gate, so there's a good chance of us getting stuck a second time. There might be a human standing there, I'm not sure. See what all the kerfuffle's about. Still have 2 hours and 15 minutes to spare. So whatever this is, construction or accident or whatever, it's not affecting my delivery time. yeah, there is a human here. Cool. That's all usually better than automated sign. To me, it looked like an automated sign far away, but. I always smile and wave at the traffic controller guys and gals. They've got a tough job, tough, unsafe job. But we're past the sign, guys, so looks like they're resurfacing road up ahead. Don't make me honk. Okay, so this side's resurfaced already, and the other side has not been. It's been ground down, or ground up, ground down, and it needs to be resurfaced. Yeah, up and over the next hill is where they're working right now. I find it super interesting that they're not resurfacing the center painted lines. They're leaving a little bit in the center, and they're leaving the fog line in as well. I guess only resurface the little bit that's needed and save some money. Ah, they're still grinding up the road right here. camera down. I'm like, wait, where's the oncoming traffic waiting? So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Let's not get all the way up to top speed. Still paving this side. Where they park that pickup makes it unsafe for the workers on the machines. All right, hammer down. Oh, there's 2 test vehicles. 2 Kenworth trucks that are being tested. Got the fancy paint scheme that it's hard to tell where the lines of the truck are. What the new model of the truck's gonna look like. Sneeze. Thank you, appreciate it. New trip has been assigned to me, so they know where I'm going tomorrow after I'm unloaded. I don't. Gotta stop and pull over and check it out. Always be nice if they sent another message with that automated one that said, "Hey, your next load will be loading in Portland, or loading in Spokane, or loading in Vancouver." Just so I can start planning in my brain. get my brain working. That's okay. I'll have to pull over to do a load secure somewhere down the highway. Check it out then. Prepared to stop. Oh no, not again. I see brake lights. For some reason there's a crane out over top of a road just sitting idle. Oh, there's lots of cables laying in the shoulder too. Don't follow what's going on there. Well, I was hoping to get all the way to Wenatchee, but I think we're running out of time. As far as the video goes, I mean. I've kind of settled on the hour-long format because I seem to be able to get that edited and rendered during the week. Although I've been doing all of this running in the US, so if all of a sudden I start running in Canada, will I have time to edit these videos? I don't know. In which case we'll have to simplify some videos again, but as long as I can keep up with editing, keep shooting the high quality 4K videos. And you know what? Wenatchee's only 3 miles away. We'll get at least to the turnoff. drive across to Columbia. You know, when I'm running in the US, I've got 2 extra hours compared to running in Canada. 2 hours of extra leisure time, which I'm putting all into editing videos. But today I should have 4 hours extra off tonight, so I might get to do some relaxing, edit the video and watch some videos or movies or something, or go play a video game. Oh, now do the mature grown-up thing and go for a walk. Yeah, I guess I could. We'll see. Sunset's pretty early these days. I'm not willing to take a bunch of extra time off during the day, because what if something goes, what if there's a crazy traffic jam in Seattle, Tacoma, that takes 2 hours to get through. And I prefer to get most of my time off in one big chunk at the end of the day. Here we go. Wenatchee. Luckily the turn lane here is a long signal. beautiful day, beautiful blue sky. Some clouds starting to move in. Glad Jess decided to go for a drive today. It's not looking too promising for the rest of the week. Crossing over the Columbia River yet again. I'll answer this call.
Alright. Wait about 10 minutes.
You guys rock. Thank you guys for watching. I am out of here. Oh, I missed the call. Bluetooth didn't fire up immediately. But yeah. Thanks. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. So many of you have been doing that. It means a whole bunch to me. You guys rock.
This video is brought to you in part by the letter C and these YouTube members. Cookie starts with C. What other things start with C? Oh, who cares what other things? C is for cookie, and that's good enough for me. Thanks for watching. Nom 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 nom.
Yes, I will.